So we're rewriting equations still, and this equation right here that we're given, it's got an x squared and a y squared. So I know that it's not a parabola. So I'm deciding, what it is. The second thing that I look for, since it has an x squared and a y squared, is I look at the signs. They have different signs, so I know automatically that this is a hyperbola. Since it's a hyperbola, the equation will have two fractions with the minus in the middle. It will say equals to 1. We'll probably have some parentheses up here being squared, and then we'll have numbers on the bottom. The key to the hyperbola is the fact that it has to be a minus in the middle. And what happens with this is that you will always have to factor out the negative in part of the process of the equation. Even if it was just a negative y squared, you would have to factor out a negative 1. I will have to, in the process, factor out a negative 9 at some point. So I just wanted to point that out. It's because of this minus sign in the middle. So you have to be really careful about that part. So first thing, just like in a previous problem, I'm going to group my x's and my y's. So I've got 16x squared. I've got a negative 96x. Since I have an x squared and an x, I know that I will need to complete the square with that. For my y's, I've got a negative y squared, or negative 9y squared, and a positive 36y. Since I have a y squared and a y, I must also complete the square for the y's. Anything else, like your constant here, we move that to the other side so it's just not getting in the way. So it was a negative 36, so we add 36. So 36 is over on the right side. Remember, to balance out, we need to add whatever we add for the x's and also add whatever we add for the y's to the right side to balance the equation. When I'm working this, I like to focus on the x's first, and then I'll focus on the y's, and then I'll deal with the right side and finish it out. So we're going to look in the blue area first. I've got a 16 on my x squared. To do completing the square, I must factor that 16 out. So it's going to be 16. So 16x squared divided by 16 is just x squared. 96 divided by 16 is 6. So that's going to be minus 6x in the middle. Plus, whatever the box number is divided by 16 will be this number. So remember, we're going to have to multiply by 16 to get back up there. So continuing completing the square here, this is going to be x minus 3 and x minus 3. Always half of this middle term. Negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9, 4 right there. Now to get up here for this box, because remember that box was divided by 16 to get the 9, you have to multiply by 16 before you have the number that goes there. So 9 times 16 is 144. So to finish that part, 16 x minus 3 parentheses squared. So that's the x portion of that. Now we're going to look at the y's. On the y's, like I said earlier, we need to factor this negative 9 out so that we have the negative in the middle of the equation. So I'm factoring out a negative 9. That negative is the part that throws everybody for a loop. Negative 9y squared divided by negative 9 is y squared. 36y divided by negative 9 is negative 4y. It's a potential spot for mistakes. Right here, the box number divided by negative 9, we don't know. We'll figure that out later. We're going to correct for it by figuring out what it is and then multiply by negative 9 to get back up to the box. So I have a minus 9 right here, 2 parentheses. Half of this negative 4 is negative 2, so y minus 2 and y minus 2. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4, so right here is positive 4. Remember, you've got to pick up that negative 9 before you go back up to the top. So 4 times negative 9 is negative 36. So to simplify that, it'll be minus 9, y minus 2, parentheses squared. Now we go to the right side. The number that we added for the x's was 144, so that goes into this box, the blue. The number we added for the y was negative 36, so negative 36 is in the green box there. What's kind of neat is that I had a positive 36 and a negative 36, so my actual mental math here of combining the 36 is really cancel, and it's just 144. So I'm just going to copy that. Just like with the ellipse, the right side is supposed to have a 1. So we're going to go and divide each piece to this equation by 144 so that we can have it be 1 on the right side. So simplifying our fractions here, 16 over 144 reduces to 1 over 9. 9 over 144, and consider the negative to be like out in the front here, but the 9 and the 144 reduces to 1 and 16. So, and then the 144 over 144, 1 over 1. So to write my final answer, it's x minus 3 in parentheses squared over 9 minus y minus 2 parentheses squared over 16 equals 1. So here's my hyperbola equation. And the center of that would be at 3, 2. Coming from the h and the k from the formula.